Hello Steelers and welcome to this week's hobby update. In shock news, I haven't actually painted anything. The reason for that is because I was away in Scotland for work earlier this week, so I just didn't really get a chance to do anything. I am though currently working on some British Dragoons for the Inniskillens. It's the 3rd Regiment of the British Heavy Dragoons for the epic stuff. They'll be finished by the end of the weekend. Maybe even by the end of today, which is Friday as I'm recording this, but currently I just didn't get enough time to finish them off, annoyingly, because I think there's only 12 or so figures to paint there, but you know, it is what it is. So maybe next time I show you something I've painted, there's going to be double the amount at least in a week or so. Interestingly though, whilst I was in Scotland, we were up in Edinburgh. And during a little bit of time off in the evening, we went up to Edinburgh Castle, me and my colleague Jack, and I saw that the Ensign Ewart's tomb was there. I didn't actually realise that. I wanted to see Haig's statue, but it's actually in the castle and we didn't go in because they were just closing, just so we kind of got to it because it was in the evening. But I did see Ewart's tomb, which is quite nice because I was painting those dragoons. I know he was from the Scots Greys, and those that don't know, he was the guy that captured the 45th Eagle at Waterloo. So it's just nice to see a little Waterloo nod there whilst I was out and about doing some work. But in the post though, I did get a couple of things. I mentioned them in the last time. I got the really useful box, but I didn't get the inserts. But Warbasers very kindly sent me through 6 of these. These are the inserts. I've talked about these before in other videos, but these are perfect for these 9-litre the boxes. You get them in different sizes, so you can actually get more in here, but these I think are the 43mm deep ones, which are perfect for the epic because they've got flags and things. If you're going to use these for say your 15mm stuff, you might want to go down to the 30mm ones and get more in, and I've done that in other really useful boxes. Also, one of the things that I don't do nowadays with these is I don't actually glue them. I just use, I don't know if you can see on here, but parcel tape just to hold them in place because they are really nicely, solidly built, the Warbasers ones in particular. 6 of those fit perfectly into a really useful box, and then you've got loads of storage in that as well. Well worth checking out. Again, you know, always a big fan of Warbasers stuff. They do some really nice designs. So just go and check their stuff out, and if you're looking for storage solutions, that is it perfectly there, I think. The other thing that came in the post, and I've already done a video about this as well, I've got them here, are the AWI sprues from Warlord. I've already done a bit of a review of these as well, which quite a few people have commented on and watched, so thanks for that. So we've got the Continental, American armies, we've also got British and Hessians as well. They've sent me 4 sprues of those and then 2 sprues of the Continental stuff as well. As I say, you know, I'm not going to go into it again, but I really like these. There's a lot of detail on them. The sculpts are very nice. I think, you know, there are some issues with historical accuracy or inaccuracy from some quarters out there, but to me these look fine, and I think, you know, a starter set of this would be good. They are of the early war, so you'll be able to play battles like Bunker Hill, for example, which is 1775, and I assume it's because of the 250th anniversary of that battle that they are producing these. So I assume over time these will probably get, you know, a bit more of a developed flavour and a bit more of a wider range as they go on, in the same way that the Napoleonics did as well. This is just like the initial box set, but I don't know any more about it than that, and as I say, I've already done a video on those. Go and check that out. It is live. I just put it out on Thursday, I think, so if you've not seen it, go and check it out. I was going to go down to the club on Thursday, but unfortunately Tiny was a little bit ill. She's fine, don't worry about it, she is fine, so I could only get an evening appointment for the vets, and so that basically meant that I had to kibosh my Algernon Pulls It Off again game down at the club, which I was going to play with a few people. We were going to test out Jim Jackaman's some of the scenarios he's been writing for the forthcoming Lardy magazine, which will be out at the end of the year. Speaking of which though, there is an Algernon Pulls It Off Facebook group now. I'll put a link to it down in the description down below. Just go along and join that. There's quite a few members in there. I'm one of the admins along with Jim. What I've done is I've also provided my aircraft sheets in there as well, so you can go and get those, and I've also provided a free copy of the rules as well in there, because Richard had asked, Richard allowed me to share it on the video that I did about algae several years ago, but I thought it's better off in a place like that. So you can actually get the copy of the rules for free from there, and also just go and check it out. There's quite a lot of interest in algae, and it's a great game anyway. You probably see, if you're a long-term viewer of this channel, you probably see me play quite a few games of it. I'm a big fan of algae and pulling it off. Also this week I've actually had a couple of days off because I was in Scotland. It meant that I was able to take a few days off towards the back end of the week as well, so Thursday and Friday were made for a nice long weekend. And on Thursday, and instead of going down to the club, I actually put a poll out on the channel, asked what people wanted to see a game of, GDA 2 or Chain of Command 2, and Chain of Command 2 just pipped it just by about, I think about 6% or something like that. So I set up a game of Chain of Command 2 Eastern Front. What I've done is I've filmed that. Annoyingly, my other camera that I used to shoot has stopped focusing, so I've had to buy a new one, which I'm hoping will arrive at some point this weekend, and just before the end of the financial year as well. But it stopped focusing, so I had to buy a new one. So unfortunately, it's only going to be pretty much one shot from the camera that I'm using at the moment. But I've still I'll stitch that together, and what I'm going to try to do with that video is just going to try to put it out when Chain of Command 2 is actually finally properly released, so I can tie it in with that and it can come out. And what I try to do as well in the video itself is just really show you a few of the extra tricks that are in Chain of Command 2. So there's things like using Chain of Command points rather than Chain of Command dice for assault deployments, for example. And I just took 2 platoons from the basic rulebook, not the original rulebook, but the second version. So German Panzer Grenadier platoon versus a Soviet rifle platoon, and then just worked it up from there and used all the supports and things that you can get in there. And that's all explained in the video. So just to show you kind of really the differences, some of the differences between Chain of Command 1, Chain of Command 2, some of the things that you can do, such as also the final countdown and things like that as well, on top of the other bits and pieces that are in the game. I'll not tell you who won, I'll not tell you who lost. Well, if you read some of my recent posts you might be able to work it out, but that will be a game that will be coming out on the channel soon enough. And just one other thing really to mention in this, what is probably quite a short hobby update, because as I say I'm not really painting much, is it's Salute next weekend. So whether I get another hobby update out by then or not, I don't know, because I'm probably going to be pretty busy. So I'll be travelling down to London on the morning of Salute and coming back that evening, so it's going to be quite a long day. But obviously I'm going to be filming it as well, so I'm going to be spending quite a lot of time. I'm helping Joe Bilton as well with his, I think it's a can game of Water Tanker. So I'll be doing that in the morning with Joe and his amazing terrain, of course. I'll be grabbing a few interviews as well as I go around filming and things, so that's always something nice to look forward to. And on top of that, I'm also going to be on the Hobby Heroes panel as well at 2:45. Now, they must have been mistaking me for somebody else, but yeah, they've asked me if I wanted to join the panel, so I said, yeah, of course I'll do. I think it's the one that Yorkshire Ken was on last year, which unfortunately I missed while I was on there, but apparently they are filming them as well this year, so they are going to be, I think, out on YouTube at some point in the future. So if you're not there to watch it, you can at least watch it on there, and I will, obviously, if that happens, I will share links to that as well. But I'm very, very honoured to have been asked. It's you know, it's a nice recognition, I guess. So yeah, I'm chuffed with that. That's really it. As I say, that's it this week. There's not much else to tell you. As I say, coming up to Easter, so things are going to get busy from a family point of view, because we've got quite a lot of DIY to do here in the house. But I do have quite a lot of videos to put out over the next few months, so just keep an eye out on those. And there's some stuff coming that hopefully you'll enjoy. And if you do enjoy these videos, and if you do want to support the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, It all helps in the algorithms and pushing these videos out in front of people. And if you really want to help out the channel financially, you can do by joining either Patreon or channel memberships, and both of those will cost you less than a coffee a month. Check out the links down there in the description, and I'll see you in the next Storm of Steel video.